So what you just said was a lie.
Hello, race fans. Peter Mackay here, welcoming you to the Ricmotech Classic Sprint Series, live from Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Joining me in the commentary box today is my wonderful Texan colleague, Austin Knight. Austin, how are you today, my friend?
Howdy, howdy, howdy. I'm doing absolutely fantastic here down in the Lone Star State, but we're up here in beautiful Canada over at Mosport for another classic round of the Classic Sprint Series. And, well, we're in for an absolutely amazing show.
We are indeed, and well, the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park layout is certainly a tricky one. And thanks to our sponsors, Ricmotech Racing Simulators, we have a handy track guide to show you the way around this beautiful circuit.
Welcome, everyone, to Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, located here in Bowmanville, Ontario, Canada. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today in the Ford Mustang around this 2.5-mile road course. Canadian Tire was originally named Mosport and was built in the late 1950s. Its first major event was held on August of 1961, with Sterling Moss getting the win in his Lotus 19. Hence the name of turns 5A and B, Moss Corner. Well, let's begin our track guide around this beautiful road course as we gear up down the front straightaway here, a very short front straightaway, mind you, as we cross the start-finish line and head down into turn 1 here. Blind on entry, drops off, very fast corner through apex, but be very careful on exit. Don't want to dip a tire in that dirt. Heading up to turn 2, the next blind corner here as the track just drops out from underneath us. Down to the fast left-hander here. Coming out wide, setting up back to the left for turn 3. Want to get a nice smooth entry here as that is a little bit of an off-camber corner at apex. This will bring us down to turn 4, yet another drop-off. The track just falls right out from underneath of you. Down into the heavy braking zone, into Moss Corner, 5A and B. Want to get that nice smooth rotation, modulate the throttle over the hill there, get a good run out of the exit, back up through the gears, and around turn 6 here as we come out onto the backstretch here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Very long, fast straightaway here. It has a few slight bends in it. As we approach turn 7 here, this is just a slight right. It's the only opportunity at this course for drivers to get a lot of draft, and overtaking opportunities happen right here. Coming down into turn 8. Double right-hander. Back down into 3rd gear to get this left into turn 9 and set up for White's Corner, turn 10. Final turn on the track as we come out of 10, right out to the edge, get that fast launch down the front straightaway across the stripe and back down into turn 1. There's your track guide for Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Great to have you with us. Thank you.
So there you are then. That is the way around this beautiful Canadian Tire Motorsport Park circuit. Now, if you're new to the Ricmotech paddock, welcome to this wonderful series here on the iRacing.com simulator, broadcast live on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV. And we have 3 wonderful series here in the Ricmotech paddock. We have the Sports Car Series, we have the GT Challenge, but tonight we have the Classic Sprint Series, and we have the wonderful Ford Mustang in the GS class, and also the Mazda MX-5, or Miata if you would prefer. So we're getting towards the business end of the season now. So let's see how the drivers look in this championship standings. For GS, it's Aero Nom, the rapid Estonian, leading by a pretty slender margin, 181 points from Cameron Martineau, who has had a rich vein of form in the last couple of weeks here in the Ricmotech paddock, in his Ferrari, in his TCR car, and also in his Mustang as well. So he sits second place in the championship. Kevin Ford, our series organizer, he sits in 3rd on 165, and Tyler Shiflett in 4th on 161. So it's really, really close at the top of GS Pro. In the ST Pro, which is our Miatas, it's, as you can see, it's even closer. Elvis Rankin on 174 points, with John Allen just 2 points behind. Travis Schwenke is only 8 points off the leader as well, and Mike Dam only 11 points away as well. So that top four here in the ST Pro class are very, very close indeed. As you can see from our production feed as well, we have some onboard cameras with the Wonder Kid Elvis Rankin and also Jeff Jacobs. Looking at the ST Open points, we have Greg Mack leading that championship from Brennan Haran and Mitchell Peak very close in there as well, with Derek Holland and Edgar Sancinelli in striking distance of the championship lead as well. We've just got a couple of rounds left in the championship. We have here at Mosport, we're off to Phillip Island next, and also finally to Sebring at the end of the season. So as the drivers go out for qualifying, 4 laps or 15 minutes, whichever comes first. And Austin, who have you got your eye on in this session?
Well, we obviously all have our eyes on Elvis Rankin being the quote-unquote wonder kid, and well, certainly he is being a wonder out there on track, so expect him to be up near the front. But in the Mustangs, I have my eyes on Cameron Martineau.
Yeah, Cameron has just been a revelation. He's just got on to it just shows you how much confidence plays a factor in motor racing. As whoa, that won't help the confidence. Elvis Rankin has a little half spin there coming out of Moss Corner. So we look at Mike Dam on screen right now in the number 93 car. Now, if you've missed a few rounds here in the Classic Sprint Series, you're thinking, wait a minute, that's not Mike Dam's car. He used to be in an orange car. Well, he has been signed by, well, the paddock stalwarts, Orion Racing. So he is now racing in the same team as Elvis Rankin, one of his championship rivals. And Austin, it seems that Orion Racing, they're doing a bit of a Penske. They're coming in and they're buying up the whole field.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if next season it becomes the Orion High Performance Racing Equipment Sprint Series, if they just do all that stuff. But if that is the Orion way, hey, I like seeing Penske-type takeovers, but they certainly are the powerhouse team in this series.
They are indeed, and from what I understand, they work together very closely. Of course, we get a regular opportunity every Monday night to speak to guys like Mike Dam and Elvis Rankin, who take part in all 3 of the Ricmotech series and do very well in all 3 of them as well. So they often talk about them sharing setups and arranging the setups of each car, which is really, really important here in the sim, just as it is in the real world. But Austin, here with these Miatas, they're very, very simple machines. Is there much you can do to tweak them to get the setup right?
Mosport is very, I would say, kind of simple to do a setup. It's a lot of medium speed corners, so you don't need to focus a lot about car balance mostly and weight transfer, because there's not a lot of flickiness unless at the end of the track. It's more about keeping the car stable, because it's a lot of elevation changes.
It is indeed. It's very much old school, this Mosport circuit, and why don't we get we're getting a great tour around here. We're riding on board with Elvis Rankin. We're now heading down, we've come out of the Quebec corner, turn 3, now heading down through turn 4 underneath the Continental Tire Bridge, then hard on the brakes for Moss Corner, named after the late great Sir Sterling Moss, who actually changed the layout of this corner from a hairpin to this double right that we have, and to make it more of a challenge for the driver. And well, it certainly does. It does provide that. It's last week in the GT Challenge, it caught a number of drivers out. So Elvis now going up the Mario Andretti straightaway towards the S's and then into whites. And this is one of the key overtaking opportunities on the circuit. Here you can easily, well, I say easily, you can stick it around the outside here and then get the inside line for this left-hander as well. And I tell you what, Elvis doing a great job to keep that car nice and straight, not scrubbing off too much speed. Can he negotiate whites? Takes quite a lot of inside curb out onto the outside curb, and where does he go? 1 minute 30.460.
At the top.
No, he is
At the top.
133.533. Yes, so he is at the top.
At the top of our Mazdas here. Current top driver in our Mustangs is Clint Vigas, as we are riding on board with the number 78 of Aeronam. He comes around the final corner and across the line. Line is actually very far back down the straightaway, but Aeronam going to maximize that big Mustang speed. Put it a 132.42, just 0.07 of a second ahead of Clint Vigas.
Yeah, Aeronam is going to mean business tonight. He's had a couple of tricky weeks in the last few weeks here in the Ricmotech paddock where things just haven't quite gone right for him. A couple of different strategy calls that have cost him, and Cameron Martineau got the job done at Lime Rock Park in the last round, and at the moment he's only 64 thousandths of a second off the pace of Aeronam, so incredibly close. But Clint Vigas only 74 thousandths, so the top three covered by less than 1/10 of a second. So let's see what Vigas can do if he can hold in another fastest lap here. As we see Elvis Rankin in the bottom left of the screen, he's gone purple in the first sector, purple in the third sector, and he goes quicker again. So Elvis Rankin solidifies his position at the top of the timesheets in the Miata class. They're the drivers with the little green icon beside them, and Greg Mack fastest in the ST Open for the Miatas as well.
Yeah, Rankin and Allen have a little scrap fest right there, but Rankin jumps up a 10th and 700ths ahead of him. Aeronam battling out Tyler Shiflett, who's 4th in the championship standings right there. He's got a good chance on jumping Kevin Ford today, who isn't on track, as Clint retakes second place ahead of Tyler. And wow, those times went from close to not close at all from what Aeronam did, as what was a very close fight up front has turned into a massive slob knocker of a fest. Timesheets right now, 3/10 separates first and second place from what used to be just under a 10th between the top three 1 lap ago.
Wow, that is quite a lap time that Aeronam has just laid down. And unfortunately for Kevin Ford, our series organisers, he is not here this evening. I think this is maybe the first ever Ricmotech race that I've commentated on where Kevin has not been racing. So we miss you, Kevin, and we're looking forward to seeing you back in the paddock very, very soon. And that has big implications for the GS Championship, because Kevin Ford currently sitting third, 1 point behind Cameron Martineau and only 4 points ahead of Tyler Shiflett. So as you mentioned, Austin, that's going to really spice up the GS Championship, and you can't afford to drop any points here. It's really, really tough. So we're looking at Tyler Shiflett coming around here, trying to lay down that quick time. Sorry, Clint Vigas, my apologies. And Aeronam puts in another fast lap time. Now, if you're wondering where are all the other cars, all the drivers right now are in a solo qualifying session. So they effectively are all in their own private qualifying session right now, and then their times are taken and put onto the leaderboard as Cameron Martineau puts in his personal best and goes third fastest.
Yeah, lone qualifying sessions, it's you versus the clock, and it's kind of like it's kind of like oval qualifying where everyone has their own lap out on track, but it puts the people in their places, and you don't get any of those massive games some people play in, especially in road racing and especially at massive tracks. As Clint gets a little bit sideways on the entrance to Moss, but he's looking fairly all right now. Green through sector 2 as he enters Mario Andretti straight. Actually, he hasn't finished sector 2 right now. It's just coming across that line. You can tell the different sectors by the little small red dots on our track map. And Clint, slower than his fastest lap right there as he enters sector 3 and those S's. Now, these S section going to be very key to setting a great time.
And Aerodom laying down fast laps again, and he goes quicker still, 0.7 of a second quicker. What can Cameron Martineau do? He's gone personal best in the second sector. Can he do anything to catch Aerodom here? He uses a lot of room on the exit there. 130.6, no, it's 129.6, sorry, so does not improve. So he'll start from third, and well, like you said, Austin, was very close, and Aeronom, well, he has stretched the gap out quite considerably, and it looks like majority of our drivers are all done with their fast lap times, so looking like it's going to be Aeronom on pole position in GS in the Mustangs, Elvis Rankin fastest of the ST Pro Miatas, and Mitchell Peak fastest of the ST Open Miatas. Currently Mitchell sitting third in his class in the championship right now, so that's a great start to his day. So as you can see, the GS, the Mustang here, completely different car to the Miata. It's a front engine, big, heavy V8, really requires a lot of hustling around, whereas the Miata, very, very light on its feet, a lot less power, but a lot less weight. That is the big difference. Only about 900 kilos, the Miata, so it's much more maneuverable. So through the fast bends, it could be pretty strong, but along the Mario Andretti straight, those Mustangs, they are going to gallop by.
Yeah, they're going to be letting the ponies out of the barn and let them run wild on the Mario Andretti straight. Those Mazdas need to watch their mirrors, and because you don't want an angry Mustang coming up on you. The track is blocked. We saw the traffic problem at Lime Rock Park. It's not going to be much of a problem here at Mosport since the track is much wider, but that straight is going to be the best opportunity for any cars making the pass, even if it's on lap track, because these monsters are going to be much quicker in the quick turns.
Absolutely, they make their lap time in a completely different way. They're not very fast at all in a straight line, but they can carry big corner speed, and also very good in braking as well. And that's all down to the lack of weight. Very much the Colin Chapman theory. Add lightness is what they always said. And Austin, I had the great privilege of driving around the Scottish Highlands on Saturday in a Caterham 7. They are originally called the Lotus 7, and a car that only weighs 500 kilograms. An absolute joy. Best car I've ever driven.
Yeah, you had the privilege of driving around the Scotland Highlands in a beautiful kit car. I had the wonderful experience of riding around in a pace car at Circuit of the Americas this weekend. So both of us having times enjoying race cars this weekend.
Yeah, we're both very smug and happy with ourselves, aren't we?
Yeah.
And rightly so, absolutely. I have to say I'm jealous of you. Was it a Honda Civic Type R, the pace car, I think I saw?
It was a Honda Civic Type R.
And any impressions to share of that vehicle? Fast,
very fun. Suspension, I wish it was a bit stiffer. Do not ride in the back seat, especially if you're in a track. And if you are, unfortunately, in the back seat, hold on to something.
Excellent stuff. Of course, at Circuit of the Americas, all those big changes of direction. I hope you hadn't had a big lunch before getting into the pace car.
Yeah, just a few tacos. I was used to it. The guy next to me, no, he had to get out.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Well, so we're just seeing the final bits of qualifying right now. We're looking at John Allen in this green and black Miata. Kind of looks like the old Patron colours actually as well.
I think it kind of is a reference to it.
It looks very close. Do you know actually Ed Brown, who ran the Patron team, who owned the Patron team, I should say, and owned the Patron brand before it was sold to, I think it was Bacardi that bought it. And he actually, his original race driving coach, who was also a driver, his name escapes me at the moment, but he actually bought it as a thank you present. He bought Ed Brown a black and green Miata in Patronin colours as a thank you, to say, I'll go and take this and go and have a go at racing. And well, as they say, the rest was history. Before you know it, he was driving prototypes and all kinds of things. But that was where it all started, with a Miata. And of course, many people's from all walks of life, their motor racing career starts in one of these little Japanese machines.
Yeah, the most popular sports car raced around the world. Those MX-5s, very available in the market, parts available all over the world for them, and especially replacement parts as well, as qualifying is over here at Mosport.
It is. So, as you can see, a lot of drivers keen to get going. They are already gathered behind the Ford Mustang pace car. As we can see, the Michelin Man there giving us a wave. Hello, Michelin Man, on the gantry there. So let's look at the times then. Aaron Nom, well, dominant, 0.7 of a second quicker than Clint Vigas, with Cameron Martineau just behind in third place. Tyler Shiflett will start from fourth, with Jeff Jacobs in fifth. Steve Daniel will begin sixth. Tony Kernan seventh. David Sanders eighth. Robert Briss ninth. And no Kevin Ford this evening, unfortunately. So let's have a look how they line up then in ST Pro for the Miatas, if we can. There we go. This is our complete grid. So as you can see, we've gone through the GS order. Elvis Rankin will start on pole position in class in 11th overall, with John Allen right beside him on that row. Next up will be Travis Schwenke and Mike Dam. Mitchell Peak, the fastest of the ST Open class, alongside Jacob Beasley. Greg Mack is right there behind his championship rival Mitchell Peak in 17th, with David Payton in 18th. Jordi Fike starts in 19th. Chris Thorman will begin 20th. Edgar Sancinelli and Brennan Haran will start on the 11th row of the grid. And Mike Taylor and Jeffrey Cranston will start 23rd and 24th. 25th will be Derek Holland, followed by Eric Klister, Greg Brockway, Michael Key, Nico Parsoneau, Patrick Provenus, and I nearly got cut out there. There is no such person as Stuart Marshall. That is, of course, our live steward, which we have here in the Ricmotech paddock. And it looks like we've got all the field gathered up, and the pace car will pull away shortly, and we'll be ready to go for 60 minutes of racing. One compulsory pit stop, and we will talk all about the various strategy permutations as we go through the race.
Now, there might not be a Stewart Marshall, but I definitely know there is a Marshall Stewart.
A Marshall Stewart. It could be either way around, actually.
Yeah, Stewart Marshall, Marshall Stewart. There is a guy I know that. I don't know if it sounds like a racing driver's name, now that I think of it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, Stewart, of course. In fact, Stewart would be a very successful name to have here at Mosport. Sir Jackie Stewart won the Canadian Grand Prix in 1971 and 1972 at this wonderful circuit. An absolutely beautiful layout. It follows the natural contours of the land. It was cut out of the local farmland, actually, here in Bowmanville, Ontario, founded by the British Empire Motor Club, the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. And fittingly, the man who was so involved with the design of the circuit, Sir Sterling Moss, won the first race here in 1961 at the wheel of a Lotus 19. So we wait for our GS class to come around. They are already on the Mario Andretti straightaway. The iRacing pace car will pull away, and then it will be Aaron Nom who will pace the field. And Austin, who knows if anyone's going to be able to catch him, because qualifying, his pace is really strong.
Yeah, there's qualifying pace and this race pace, but with Aaron Nom, it's uncomparable to catch up with him. But we've seen people starting here, because he's going to be starting on that inside line. That outside line will have a bit of advantage, especially if you can stay side by side with him coming through turn 1 and through that long turn 2. You got the grass on the outside. You got to be very careful, especially if you're on the outside. And Clint, kind of knows his way into there and get his way into the lead.
Yeah, he's got to upset Aaron Nom's rhythm quick. So we're coming up to the green flag point. We're coming into the start zone. Aeronom will gap the field. We're coming into it now. Is he going to go early? Is he going to wait to try and catch the field unawares? He's pacing them. He's going gently and go, go, go. Here we go then. We're off in Canada for the Ricmotech Classic Sprint Series in the GS class. Fly down towards turn 1 and Aeronom leads confidently. Cameron Martineau sticks it up the inside. Can he make the move stick? Into turn 2, it's side by
He's
side.
got it.
With Vegas, he looks like he's not got it yet. Oh, this is close. You don't want to go around the outside on cold tyres. And there you go. Cameron Martineau has a big wobble, and he may be going to drop back to third here as our ST class, our ST Pro class Pinatas, they're off as well.
Yeah, you look at our right side, the MX-5s get all going. Our GS class and those Mustangs are on the left side of the screen. Elvis Rankin is in the lead of that MX-5 class as Jeff Jacobs in that 38 Mustang is riding on, making a big dive into Moss. And oh my goodness, that's Steve Daniel mounted on the tire barrier.
Wow, Steve Daniel, that's a big one there at Moss Corner. Well, Moss Corner claims its first victim, and I get the feeling it will not be the last. But Vegas and Martineau battling away up the Mario Andretti straight, and this is exactly what Aeronom will be wanting. He wants Vegas and Martineau to battle away with one another, slow each other up so he can escape away at the front. And I guess Austin, 60-minute race, a little bit shorter than what we've had the last couple of weeks. The strategy is not going to be quite as important as it was, so for Aeronom, he can just go clear away at the front and go and deliver a race win.
Yeah, clean up the front, put it in your own pace, head down, get on going, because it is going to be a while of a race and more of a sprint race than what we're used to sometimes. As let's go over to our MX-5s as Travis Schwenke sits in third, just ahead of Mitchell Peak. And Peak, he's peaking it up there, is leading our ST Open class.
Yep, he certainly peaked in time for this very crucial round of the Ricmotech Classic Sprint Series, with thanks to the wonderful folks at Proforma Elite Texas Graphics. We thank them and Ricmotech for the support of this wonderful series as well. Now, can Elvis Rankin make the breakaway? We don't see breakaways often in this particular class because, of course, the car in front provides such a good drafting effect. It's these cars draft one another really, really well. But it's going to be hard for Elvis Rankin to break away, but he's certainly trying his best right now. Currently enjoys about a half a second advantage. You can see it there. It's not much at all. Schwenke. I thought Schwenke was going to try and go up the inside there in the second part of Moss Corner. That doesn't fit. But here they go then, up the Mario Andretti straightaway.
It was a very ambitious braking move for Schwenke to do it. I think he was just looking down to the inside in case Allen got into the grass, because the most common mistake over in Mosport, as we got a little bit of the case of bump drafting in Mario Andretti straight, is getting a wheel caught up onto the grass and going around.
Yeah, this is where, of course, you can just about get away with a little bit of a tap and a nudge, but you don't want to make too much of a habit about it. But they come through. They come through clean. Now, I must apologise. It's now we actually have a 75-minute race today, not a 60-minute race, which was on the, I might add, was on the notes, but never mind. But that's good. We get another 15 minutes of racing, and that does change the complexion of the race quite a bit in terms of strategy. And Austin, I would suspect that particularly for the Mustangs, I think the tyres are going to be a bit of an essential thing to do at the pit stop, because here at Mosport there's so much load put through the tyre in this opening section.
Oh yeah, tires are definitely going to be a must here in the pit stops. We've seen a few drivers risk it with not taking tires. You definitely want to be taking tires here, even if it's just on one side, but it's a very balanced circuit. So I believe we'll be taking tires throughout all the cars. You can certainly go without tires, but you're going to be very slow compared to the rest of the field, especially if you go in nose to tail into the pit stop.
Indeed, I totally agree. I think this circuit has got to be one of the hardest circuits on the tyres, especially for the guys in the Mustangs. They're in such a heavy car. The tyres aren't necessarily that sophisticated, and when you lean on them so
skinny
much,
tires too as well.
Yeah, exactly. The tyres having to cope with a lot. So it's, as you can see here, we're coming into this opening section. We'll try and give you an impression of what we're talking about. Coming through this turn one, it's really, really quick here, and you're leaning on the front left tyre really, really hard, trying to get the drive out as well, and then going into the really scary turn two. And I tell you what, it's pretty scary in a car with no aero on it, like these MX-5s, and they come in balancing the car on its tiptoes and then round down towards turn 3 of Quebec. And this, as you can see, there's long, sustained, high-speed loads on the tyres. So that's actually, even with the tyre change, making them last over the stint is going to be really crucial.
Yeah, and the G-force is being exerted on the tire, the car structure, chassis, suspension, and the driver is very impressive. Now we don't have that driver factor in the simulator, but in real life, oh man, you're getting a full body workout this drive around here, as Travis Schwenke is getting a little bit up and personal with that green and black car of Allen, and Schwenke, he's peering on the outside. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a surprise dive down the inside, trying to get Allen into a little bit of a peace of mind before that corner.
Yeah, it seems so. I mean, I think Travis Schwenke has some pretty good pace here. He seems very racy, and the only thing is, if he can see that Allen in front of him is keeping pace with Elvis Rankin and not letting Elvis Rankin get away in the race lead, then he'll be quite happy to sit there, manage his tyres, and also not use up too much fuel as well. But if he thinks that Elvis Rankin's going to break away, which I think he maybe is ever so slightly, then Schwenke's going to have to make the move and try and haul in Elvis Rankin, because if he stays behind John Allen for too long, it's not good.
If we look at the right side of our screens right now, we got a race going on down the Mario Andretti straight, side by side. These two cars go, but unable to get the move done, as Clint stays ahead of Cameron right there.
Yeah, Cameron Martineau just running a little bit wide there. The car just didn't want to turn in. In fact, the tyre just eventually said, no, that's not going to work. The physics kind of took over there, and Aeronom lays in a fastest lap of the race to add insult to injury there, and really starting to open the gap up now. And Cameron Martineau trying his best to get by, but he's got to worry about Tyler Shiflett right behind him as well. So really, really close as well. And we also have Jeff Jacobs there as well in the we've nicknamed him the Gator, because we understand he went to the Florida University.
Yeah, he's a Florida Gator, true. Tries to get it off, goes Martineau. Oh, got into the grass, massive wiggle, but he saved it, and he stayed, and now he's on the back end of this group, and well, I'm guessing that's me getting a commentator's curse for saying, hey, we need to watch this guy at the start of this race. I'll put my hand up. I'm sorry.
Well, I think he'll take it. Wow, that was a big moment. I mean, you do not get away with going on the grass there very often, but Cameron Martineau did a really good job to gather that car up and get it slowed up. That was amazing car control, to be honest, because it's such a big, heavy car. We can't stress it enough how heavy a car the car is. Not overly sophisticated aerodynamics, as you can see. Not overly sophisticated tyres, so you really are asking a lot of the car. So when it gets into a bit of a wobble, it's it's not easy to gather up again. But Cameron Martineau did a great job, and he can still see Vargas in second as well. He's just at the back of the pack, but really it's Aeronom's race to lose at this stage. As we see, you get a good idea here. Jeff Jacobs on the right hand side, you'll see just how much movement he has to make in the wheel. Also Elvis Rankin as well in the Miata, and you see just how those corrections have to happen as well. Now, just notice something, Austin. Jeff Jacobs, does he have a hand in the background? Is that a hand shifter? Oh, brilliant.
Yes, he does.
Is it an H pattern? Or is
It's
it
at
just
least a sequential.
big
No,
respect?
that's an H pattern. That's a full H pattern.
Big respect. Oh, it is. It's an H pattern gearbox. I love it.
That massive respect. And I don't know if you also see in the background, Florida Gator poster in the corner of his room. That nicely presented to us. And if I can remember last week, that was not there.
Well, there you go. Living up to the brand of the Gator is Jeff Jacobs. And Cameron Martineau looking to try and recover. He's trying to get past Tony Kernan here in the black number 7. Oh, Martineau, he's looking pretty loose here. Maybe just not quite happy with that car on the full fuel load as Aaron puts in another fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 29.170. And yeah, significantly quicker than any of the rest. Cameron Martineau puts in his personal best, a 129.5. But oh my word, that was a huge moment there from Vigas. And what's happened? He's gone off.
Vigas off.
Oh, dearie me. Oh, that was close. Oh, dearie.
All right.
That's fast through there. That's really fast.
If we had a camera on Cameron right there, I think his face, that was extremely close, as we're going to pull up a replay for y'all very soon. And here comes Cameron Martineau on the outside of Moss corner. It's just a little delayed braking, trying to go for that over-under now. He's got a good run on Kernan now as they head into the Mario Andretti straight.
Wow, Clint Vigas, well, that is going through turn 2. Let's get a replay of it then on the right-hand side of the screen. Gets a big wiggle on, somehow misses the wall across one part of the grass, another one. Oh, he hangs onto it. Oh, and then nearly clips the back of Cameron Martineau. Wow, that is, well, I thought Cameron Martineau had save of the day, but he's actually just been eclipsed by Clint Vigas, who definitely has save of the day. That's certainly the fastest corner on the circuit, and wow, that's a big car to catch that slide.
I think we're going to get a few more nominations for the saves of the days through these guys, because they are an incredibly talented bunch of drivers here.
I agree. I absolutely agree. So, well, not too much. Well, now, look, Travis Schwenke has got past John Allen, and that is critical for this race, and straight away Schwenke is putting the pressure on Elvis Rankin. This is the most pressure that Elvis has had all race. John Allen not quite able to put the young man under pressure here, but here they go then through the S's and towards whites, and Travis Schwenke, Austin, he is looking in very racy mood indeed. This could be a brilliant battle between these two Orion Racing teammates, and as we saw from our in-sim camera with Elvis, you can see him talking away on his his headset. That will be to Travis Schwenke, also to Mike Dam as well, his teammates.
And his spotter. I believe he does run with a spotter at some tracks, who's a strategist, as we got a race side by side of the Mustangs. Cameron Martineau round the outside, but Kernan trying to squeeze his way in there. Side by side they go into the S's. Oh, Kernan round the outside, then back down to the inside. What a defense by Tony Kernan to stay ahead of Cameron Martineau.
Wow, yeah, that was close to Cameron. He just doesn't, the car just doesn't look quite happy on the changes of direction, and having to really push hard here is Cameron Martineau. Of course, he did really, really well. Of course, won the race last time out at Lime Rock Park, and well, you couldn't get a more different. They're not far apart actually in terms of geography, really, but in terms of nature of the circuit, completely different. Mosport really, really fast, lots of big, open, wide, fast corners, and everything that Lime Rock Park isn't.
Multiple left-handed turns.
Yes, indeed. So, now what about Mike Dam here, putting a bit of heat under, Mitchell Peak, who isn't even in the same class. So he is sitting in 4th overall in the Miatas, but he's actually in the
still
SD
in the
Open.
way.
Mike Dam is in the SD Pro. Mike Dam looks to the inside
They almost
now.
touched right there. They almost touched off the exit. You saw that massive wiggle from Mike Dam, but Mitchell Peak, they might not be racing for position, but he's still in front of him on the track. And knowing these racing drivers, they're definitely going to put up or shut up with each other because they're in the same car. It's just one of them's on a fixed setup and one of them's not.
Yep, it's not what Mike Dam needs right now. As you can see, his Orion Racing teammates, Elvis Rankin and Travis Schwenke, just edging away ever so slightly. And here in the Miatas, the draft is so important, and racing is so close. You don't want to really have too much of a gap to catch up, because it's very difficult to do that. Look at the concentration on young Elvis's face. He is trying, isn't he? And he's looking around the screen, looking in his mirrors, to thinking, all right, okay, got my teammate Travis Schwenke here. Need to be careful. Now Mike Dam on the right hand side of your screen in the draft with Mitchell Peak. He goes to the outside. This is a good line to take, because then you get the inside to the next one. He cuts him off.
No, Mike didn't just gave him that spot off. He just full on lifted off the throttle. Decided it wouldn't be that smart to commit to it, but he is studying Peak and trying to find the best spot. Looks down to the inside. Peak goes a bit wide, gets into the grass. Here comes Dam.
Yeah, I love the body language of these cars, always sliding around. Of course, if you're sliding them, you're not going as fast as you could, but there is an inevitable bit of grip that just gets lost, and that's what makes these cars so spectacular to watch and to drive. They're wonderful little cars to drive and provide such great racing. It just shows you that aerodynamics often can be the killer for good racing.
Yeah, aerodynamics could be the killer for good racing and the savior for good racing. The MX-5, the most drafty car here on iRacing, due to convertibles being the probably the worst idea in a aerodynamic situation, with all the roll bar immediately after the open cockpit, creating a bunch of dirty air. There's a fantastic video about convertible aerodynamics up on YouTube. If y'all want to dive in deeper about that, but the back end of a MX-5 is extremely turbulent air. If you thought F1 had a massive dirty air problem, you haven't seen an MX-5 race.
Yeah, it's just, I was gonna make a Volkswagen diesel comment there, but probably the best not to talking about it. But interesting, I was you're talking about that the drafting, it can really create such tight racing as well. I mean, I was commentating at my local circuit here in Scotland on a Legends race, and on the road course, and wow, they hit a certain point, and then they can't go any faster, but the draft makes up such a big difference. So I mean, it gives us some really interesting racing. I have to say, I love the look of that number 38 car of Jeff Jacobs, that orange machine with the big teeth showing. Cameron
Martineau carried it 3 wide as a little scoring update. Elvis Rankin in first place still, but Martineau got past Quint Vigas after a very sketchy part. Mitchell Peak getting very slidey, entering Moz. Keep it together, buddy.
I think Martineau has maybe had an issue, because he was right at the back of Tony Kernan. Now there's a pretty significant gap between the pairs. So
Jeff Jacobs happened.
Martineau,
they got into the lap traffic, and Jeff Jacobs just snuck it through there.
Yep. So we're 18 minutes into this race, and lap traffic already an issue. About a 4-second delta or so from leader to leader between the two classes. So as you can see from our SDK Gaming graphics, you can see on the top right hand side of your screen, you can see where all of the drivers are in the field. They almost look like little M&Ms spinning around the screen there, but you'll see where all the drivers are in their respective classes.
Speaking of M&Ms, did anyone enter your M&M livery contest yet?
I haven't had any entries yet, but I did. I had a go myself the other day, and I've now got an M&M's liveried Audi TCR car. Well, I see with the M&M's, it's all the M&M characters. So we've got yellow, got red and we've got blue running on my Audi, and they brought me some good luck so far. So, but yeah, you can see all of these graphics that you see on screen right now. These are all graphics that you could have on your own in sim to give you that little bit of a competitive advantage. Or if you want to stream your races via Twitch or whatever, you can do that as well. So go on to the SDK Gaming website and read all about it. In fact, all of our Apex Racing Team drivers use the technology to calculate fuel and all kinds of sophisticated things. So do check it out. It's exactly the same software that we use here in the broadcast. So check it out.
Yeah, it provides you great data, and it either if you're a racer or if you're a spotter, it is very useful. And Mike Dam has snuck by around the outside, and he's going for not one but two moves around the outside. Big brake check right there, and we got a massive pack of the 93 jumping up in there of Mike Dam sitting in third now. Got ahead of Mr. Peak right there, John Allen. He's got a little traffic behind him. That's Aeronom giving him a little bit of a look-see.
Oh, well, Aeronom, he doesn't need to take too many risks here. He's got an 8.5 second advantage back to Tyler Shiflett. So this is very much like the Timon and Pumbaa situation, isn't it, as well? And it's oh my word, that was close. And obviously the Mustang is Pumbaa, and the Miatas, they are Timon. But you can see there how that Mustang really doesn't like to turn, whereas these Miatas, they can just slide around. They're so maneuverable. But then as soon as Aeronom opens up that big Detroit muscle, boom, straight through he goes, past Mike Dam like he's in reverse gear. They are very different cars. They make their lap time up in very different ways. But he gets through safely, does Aeronom. Now, we have in the Miata class, we have on Orion Racing 123 of Rankin, Schwenke, and Dam. But Mike Dam, he has quite a little bit of gap to make up to his two teammates.
Yeah, I was stuck in traffic behind Peak right there. Peak was putting up a great fight with him, and as well as John Allen, who was overtaken by Peak and then overtaken by Dam. Wrong place, wrong time, really. And I want to go back to that Timon Pumbaa situation. If there was a third car in here, who would be Simba? Or what would be Simba?
Oh, well, do you know, my first car was called Simba. It was a Fiat Seicento Sporting, and it was black, but it had like orange tiger stripes on it, so I called it Simba, even though Simba's a lion. I wonder.
Scottish Tiger King over here.
There you go. I'll need to think about it. Easy. The number 3 Corvette is yellow. That would be perfect.
I had a bet going on in my mind that you were going to say the Corvette.
Oh, you wouldn't get very long odds on me mentioning a Corvette.
I know, but yeah, it wouldn't really fit in this series. But hey, it's a Corvette. Actually, no, the Corvette GT, the C6 Corvette would probably fit in here.
Well, it would be a very different car. I have to say, I drove I had a fun race with some friends the other day, and I drove the C6. Oh, what a wonderful car that is! It just makes the most characterful noise, and it's just a wonderful, solid racing car as well. As Jacob Beasley in his Ford Mustang Pumbaa going around the Timons here on the Mario Andretti straightaway, and it's just comical the difference in size between these cars as they go past, and Tony Kernan goes flying by as well. So we're 23 minutes of this race gone here in the Classic Sprint Series. We're going to take a very short break for a short message from our sponsors, Ricmotech High Performance Sim Racing Equipment. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back with the rest of the race. Welcome back here to the Ricmotech Classic Sprint Series. And, well, the battle is just bubbling under the surface here as we see Mitchell Peak, who's leading his class quite significantly with the Pro Class Championship contender, John Allen, not able to get by Mitchell Peak right now. So he is really on a charge in that white and orange Miata. But up at the front in GS, well, Aeronom, the rapid Estonian, he is in his own universe right now. 10 seconds ahead after just 18 laps. Now, Austin, let's talk about fuel. For the GS runners, we're expecting about a 50-lap race thereabouts, and for the Miatas, the STs, we're expecting about a 48 laps race. Now, the GS guys, their pit window should open up on lap 22 and go all the way down to lap 28 as we see Tony Kernan getting really jumpy on the brakes there and just about gets past Elvis Rankin, but that was close.
Yeah, he got a little bit too high up there. Get onto those curves and, well, these Mustangs could go for a little bit of a jump, and so we go down the Marlin very straight. Jeff Jacobs taking a little bit of a sip of water. Now, we don't have the in-helmet water delivery systems that you do in most race cars right now, but thankfully in Sim, you have the actual use of your hands, and you can multitask while going down that long straight.
Yeah, indeed. It's even with an H-pattern gearbox, he's got time to have a quick sip of water. That's pretty impressive there from Jeff Jacobs. So yes, for the ST runners, the Miatas, their pit window is now open. Lap 19. We expect all of the Miata runners to come in any time in the next 10 laps. If they go any longer than that, they are really stretching the limits of the fuel that they started the race with. So will that be fascinating to see when they choose in as well as that? He said Schwenke!
He said Schwenke, and behind is another Orion car! That is Mike Dam involved! 2 Orion cars taken out after the Mustang of Clint Vegas. He collects Mike Dam and Travis Schwenke. Absolute chaos here for the Orion team.
Oh no, that was so unlucky there as well. This shows you multi-class racing, you are never safe. There's always potential pitfalls to look out for. And unsurprisingly, an incident involving cars 16 and 71 under review. I wonder how the stewards will view that one.
It'll be on Clint Vegas for all that. He got into the grass, tried to save it, and well, it will probably be reviewed as a full-on racing incident since it was just a mistake and there was nothing he could have done to try to save that out. Sure, he was trying to save that out. Maybe he got into the throttle on his save, but it's going to be very hard to see as Greg Mack and Chris Thorman, both the teammates for Esport Racer, battling out for second place.
Yeah, so let's get a look at the replay then of that. So we're riding on board with Mike Dam. So he's driving along, minding his own business. Clint Vegas goes in there and, just nowhere to go. Absolutely nowhere to go. That is really devastating, and that's a big impact as well, and a lot of damage. That's
massive impact, and just very unfortunate corner because turn 2 and turn 3, most deadly, deadly for races, not physically deadly corners here on Mosport.
Yeah, indeed, and it's a good job that Orion Racing have a plenty. That's a good advantage of having lots of cars in the race if that happens. So let's look at Vegas then. Well, that's interesting.
He gave him all the space, then he just dipped his wheel into the grass. That's just a mistake by Clint's part. He was trying to be safe and give him all the room, but is just a little bit too far on the inside. Was probably just looking out of his, if he's running triple monitors, just watching his left screen instead of looking at the apex and being more concerned about the other guy than yourself.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I wonder, I'm not, and by no means am I suggesting that it's Travis Schwenke's fault, but I wonder if maybe Schwenke could have perhaps given a touch more room there to allow Vigas
He was
through.
over on the other side of the track.
Not from what I saw there. He looked like he was
maybe in the first part of turn 2, but in turn 3 he was on the other side of the track.
By that point he was, but by that point Vigas was on the grass. Interesting.
Yes.
Well, we know that the Ricmotech stewards do a brilliant job here in all 3 of our series, and usually come out with a decision with quickly and are very fair but firm. They do not take any nonsense here in the Ricmotech paddock, and therefore the driving standards normally excellent.
I feel like it's going to be I just feel like it's going to be a racing incident because it's going to. There are so many factors into that one. That one's going to be a very hard one to come up onto a decision, but they get paid to steward, and I just get paid to talk.
Yep, I have to say I'd agree with you. There was a lot of contributing factors there, which usually means racing incident. But here's some great racing. Jeff Jacobs, the Gator, he's now got Cameron Martineau in the white and orange machine there, the number 31 car. Cameron's not quite had his best day, but we've just got so used to seeing him winning races the last few weeks that this is unusual to now see him in 5th, but it's still a good run. And although he's sitting in 5th, he's only 4 seconds from 2nd, which is Tyler Shiflett. So he's still well in the ballpark here. And as you can see from our SDK track map, there is cars pretty much occupying most of the circuit. Now, we will see drivers coming in to take pit stops soon. Now the GS pit stop window, the Mustang pit stop window, is also open now. So this will be interesting to see when they choose to pit. They've got quite a narrow window. They need to pit in the next 6 laps, or they will run out of fuel. So they've not got many tunes that they can play on their strategy.
Yeah, it's not a massive gap, but it's going to be a very crowded pit lane, and some very daring dives into pit lane as Martineau and Jacobs going to go side by side. Martineau dives back behind Jacobs to get past that Miata. You definitely don't want to force a 3 wide there when you know you can just save it for another time by. Martineau's got the speed back with that Trat's going for that switchback move around the outside. Jeff Jacobs and Kevin Martineau. Martineau sends it down to the inside, almost gets into Jeff Jacobs. Jeff Jacobs is going to take this opportunity and go into the pits. And this is smart for Jeff Jacobs.
Yeah, that is very smart. I completely agree. And he's just been able to step out of that battle. That was definitely not allowing either driver to open up their ultimate pace. So we look at the front of, Mitchell Peak now. Tell you what, driver of the day for me, to be honest, Austin. He is in the ST Open class. He's not in the class with these guys, with the ST Pro guys. And he's right up there in 2nd overall in the Miatas. Elvis Rankin, however, now he had his 2 rear gunners there of Travis Schwenke and Mike Dam, but now he's got to do it all on his own. And this is where we've seen so many times where Elvis has just displayed his maturity that is so far beyond his tender 13 years on this earth, where Austin, he just really delivers under pressure. When he's out on his own, he can just click off the laps one after the other without any fuss at all.
Yeah, so consistent in this MX-5. He is definitely at home right here, and well, he's has to focus on him and himself, and he's got a great lead as the field behind him is 2nd, 3rd, and Mitchell Peak are all within each other, and they're having an inter-car battle. That's going to be holding him up even more. And Elvis, he can take a pit stop wherever he wants. He can still come out with the lead.
Yeah, you maybe got to think if he's. Usually, I always like to run the tank dry if you can.
We got a new leader in our Mustang class.
So we've got Aaron Nom, the leader, is in pit lane, as is Cameron Martineau and Tyler Shiflett. And Aaron Nom on his way out of pit lane right now. So, and interestingly, might well come out about the same time as Elvis Rankin in the Miata. So we see Mitchell Peak and John Allen in the green and black machine there having a good old battle, and Jacob Beasley all the while whilst Allen and Peak have been battling away. That's allowed Beasley to come onto the scene. He's in, let me get this right, he's in 3rd in the SD Pro class, but actually 4th overall.
Yeah, 4th overall, and Jacob Beasley, well, I think he wants to be 3rd overall as, oh no, Cameron Martineau. Problem for Martineau. He's off in turn 2.
Oh, huge problem. Yeah, goodness me. Well spotted, Austin. Gee whiz, that is a big one. That's a very, very fast corner. And on cold tyres, I have to presume he took new tyres there at the pit stop. And on cold tyres, that is with a car with that weight and mass. Oof, that is... and actually lucky, he was right across the track there. Lucky not to collect any other drivers.
Yeah, lucky no other drivers right there. I feel like once he realized he was off the track, he just waited for the entire rest of the field, watched that F3 black box that these cars have available to them, and waited until the track was cleared to get back up on track. And it looked like he was spun around already, so he had a good view of turn 2 and the cars that were coming down there.
Yeah,
and we got a replay coming up for y'all right now. Here's a replay. Cameron Martineau coming out of pit road, dives across that yellow line, so that's an unsafe pit release already, and just carried too much speed, already side by side, caught the end, tried to correct it, then went around in the grass area, and around he goes, waits for everyone to get around, and spins that Mustang back. But I think Cameron Martineau might have to go back into the pit lane to serve a penalty for an unsafe pit release as he crossed that yellow line coming out of the pits.
Yeah, we'll see if that one's picked up or not. So, all happening here at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, or Mosport, as it was formerly known as. Of course, Canadian Tire. I remember the first time I went to Canada, I used to go there on business quite a lot, Austin, and I remember when I first went there, I thought, that is a big, I saw the first Canadian Tire, I thought, that is a very big place just to sell tires, but then I discovered that they sell a lot more than just tires.
Yeah, they sell entertainment, great racing, and the best smell in the world of a race car being fueled up in the pit lane.
As well as these big retail stores that they have.
And tires.
And tires, yes, you still can get tires. They aren't completely off-brand entirely. So, as you see, this is a brilliant little battle. Mitchell Peak has got past John Allen, so these guys are swapping positions back and forward, slipping and sliding around in these little Mazdas. A wonderful little machine. Very simple car, H-pattern gearbox, very light, no turbos, just about 180 horsepower, so not a massive amount of power, but you don't need it when you don't have the weight to push around. And for me, Austin, both in a race car and in a road car, it's just a wonderful recipe.
Yeah, these cars are so fun to drive with each other. It's just a fun little package, under 200 horsepower. And there are some Formula cars that don't even have as enough horsepower as this, but those Formula cars are extremely negative weighted down, that they don't get up to the, they don't need all that weight and all that horsepower to get them up and going. But these cars are so fun to drive, so light. It's a handling masterpieces. Oh, no, as I cursed both those guys. John Allen going off the track, getting very loose. And that's allowed Mitchell Peak to go up into second. And the second, and the other car that was off there was the 68 in the background that went off as well.
Look, here comes Beasley in the 154 machine in that grey and blue D2D eSports car. Beautiful livery designed by Bobby Childs in that machine. Coming through the S's they come, and then over towards whites. And he gets by. So John Allen, I have to say there, Austin.
Oh, they're down in the pits.
Oh, hang on. Oh, God, I thought he was going to overshoot there. Wow. That was really fast.
That was very daring and close into that pit lane.
Indeed.
Let's look at our battle for third in the ST Open class with Derek Holland and Taylor.
Yeah, great little battle here going on. Derek Holland in that almost battleship grey colour, and they both dive into pit lane to take their service. But I have to say, just coming back to that John Allen incident there, coming into Moss Corner, he did incredibly well to hang on to that. That would have been a big moment to gather up in the sim.
As Schwenke and Key, both of them going through the final corner. Big old drift right there, but Travis Schwenke, glad to see him back on track after his incident. Spent some time in the pit lane getting that Mazda repaired.
Yeah, of course, the getting hit up the back by a Ford Mustang, a little bit like getting punched by the Incredible Hulk. So he would have had a lot of damage to repair. But I agree with you. Really good to see him back out and circulating again. And I always have a lot of time for drivers who have that never say die attitude. No matter how bad it gets, you keep going to the checkered flag, and you never ever know what will happen in front of you and the positions you can gain. And of course, over such a long season, 10-round season, every single place counts, and especially we're getting into the business end of the championship. And I have to say, Austin, as you know, I'm a huge motorcycle racing fan and MotoGP fan. We're going to Phillip Island next. That, for me, is it is the best circuit in the world for racing motorcycles, and I'm sure we're going to have a great time with these Miatas there as well.
It's a great track for Formula cars as well, as I must say. Whenever the Formula 3.5 series goes there, it is always a grand slam of a show on track, and in sports cars it's going to be even more impressive to see, because these guys are not downforce. They're going to be struggling with a lot of those tricky corners.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very good indeed. I cannot wait before we go down under. So Aeronom putting on a bit of a clinic, and Austin, I think he'll be very, very pleased. He'll be very, very pleased indeed, because he's had a tricky couple of weeks where he's made a couple of little strategical errors, but this is the Aeronom that we know.
Yeah, there are no errors here today. Aero dominated from start all the way to currently. Not going to say the finish yet, because we still got 30 minutes left, but that is very impressed by Aero. Perfect tire strategy, perfect strategy for him. I think he took tires, and Tyler Shiflett has not, because Tyler's time was 2 seconds faster than Aero.
Well, that is if you're Tyler Shiflett, maybe thought just to take the gamble and try and do something with it, but we'll see how that goes. If you're watching on the iRacing Esports Network or Apex Racing TV, welcome. We hope you are enjoying the broadcast. If you want to contact us here in the booth, just leave your comment and we will be delighted to answer your question. We hope you're enjoying this amazing battle here, which is emerging now between David Payton in the 64 machine. Whoa, big slide there as well. This is trying to make that overtaking maneuver not easy at all, but with between Payton and Fike here.
David Payton and Jordy Fike, both these guys battling out for 5th in the class. Nose to tail fight, absolutely beautiful fight here. So heading through turn 2, a little bit of damage on David's car on that front nose. May have got into a bump drafting incident with somebody.
Yeah,
you see on that right side of the car, it's a bit bent forward.
Oh, yeah, that's not what you want. Indeed, we're right on board with the Mustangs. It's Aeronom, and he's pushing on. It's of course Aeronom from Estonia, which is where the current reigning World Rally Champion Ott Tänak is from, a neighbouring country to Finland. So they know a thing or two about a car that's a little bit loose underneath.
Yeah, they have amazing car control, as David Payton and Fike going side by side, heading down the Mario Andretti straight and heading into that long right-hander. But he's got that move already made up, slides in front, chops off the nose, and secures that spot and corner entry. David Payton now running 5th in our SC Pro class.
Quite a bit of damage at the front there on David Payton's machine as well.
I'm not sure where he got that from.
Oof, well, there's certainly been plenty of action on there throughout this race. So this is encouraging to see. Travis Schwenke is beginning to recover, and he's on a bit of a recovery drive here. He's had his pit stop, and he is slipping and slithering around behind Mitchell Peak, who's still leading his class confidently in 3rd overall, but he might lose out to Travis Schwenke here, who, given that little incident with Clint Vigas, this is exactly what he wants to see. And of course, John Allen is still to pit as well.
Yeah, it's a very unusual pit stop stretch for Allen. He's going to try to run that thing dry before heading into the pit lane. Sometimes the best move is just running her till she goes flat, and that all depends if Elvis Rankin got tires or not. But Elvis, he's so fast, he knows what to do. I believe he did take tires because he has one of the longer pit stop times compared to everyone else. Maybe just taking 2 tires on a specific side of the car, maybe the left side tires.
Yeah, again, of course, it's a clockwise circuit, so yeah, you would imagine that the left tyre is going to get a little bit more effort. But as you mentioned earlier, Austin, unlike some course, it does have a few switchbacks as well there. So that would be fascinating to see how that tyre strategy plays out over the course of this race. But about 28 minutes to go in this race, and Allen's still circulating in the lead right now. And lap 32 laps on their tank. We weren't expecting them to go any further than 29, but John Allen, I suppose he has always been with another driver.
Well, he's on lap 29 right now, so I'm expecting him to go into the pits right now.
Go. Of course, 32 laps is Aero Nom's count, and the Allen will be less than that. Good thinking, Batman.
Good thinking, running her till she's dry, and now he's got the pit stop crew to do his job as we look back at our battle for, well, 3rd overall, air quotes. These two guys are not battling each other for position, as Peak is our ST Open leader, as Schwenke is our ST Pro 3rd place podium wise man, as I must say. As, we got a battle coming off pit road. Actually, not much of a battle. Yeah, Rankin's got it. Allen's just coming out of the pits right now. He's going to be coming out in front of these guys. Yeah, here's Allen in front of Peak and Schwenke. Watch out. There's Peak in front of Allen. That's okay. He didn't need that position, but oh my goodness, Allen's almost on the bumper, and there is Schwenke right behind Allen. And Allen's jump swing, but Allen's very loose. He's in the grass.
Oh.
And he saved that.
Another huge save there from John Allen, and he's wiggling all over the place, maybe on cold tires. And wow, that's I think he obviously thought, well, no time to bed in. I've got these guys, I need to fight with them straight away. And for Mitchell Peak, he's probably thinking, oh no, I thought I got rid of that guy. And they all of a sudden they're glued back together then after the pit stop. So this is a great little.
Doesn't have to worry about them.
Yeah,
he's got a good lead on the rest of the guys in his field, but Mitchell Peak being a racer, he goes, I'm 2nd overall. I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to still battle it out. I don't care.
Indeed, and of course he then gets the points for 2nd overall, whereas of course the drivers in the ST Open class score points the same as the ST Pro. So if he gets 2nd overall, he's going to get a massive load of points. And what did you see there, Austin?
Oh, I think that was Eric Chrysler who just went straight off the track.
I'm very sorry, I missed that one. I do apologise. So 25 minutes to go here, and look at this, John Allen and Travis Schwenke battling away. And look at Mitchell Peak. He's torn away, and he's going to try and make a breakaway now. Now Mitchell Peak, he is only third in the ST Open class, but he is only 12 points behind the leader Greg Mack, who's a little bit further back. So he is going to haul himself straight back into championship contention.
Yeah, here's that replay of, this is Chrysler. He was already a lap down, and this was him letting everyone by, but just a little bit of misjudgment, gets off track, but doesn't hit any of the wall, just running off into that runoff area and making it a little bit hassle-free, but a very scary situation right there if you aren't expecting that. As we ride on board with John Allen, nose to tail with Travis Schwenke. He pokes out his nose onto the outside of the Mario Andretti straight. Side by side they go. We got the drag race here at Mosport. Schwenke on the inside, Allen around the outside. Schwenke's got the draft of the 56 of Peak. Now Peak's giving the draft to Allen. Allen's not going to give it up. He's going to swing around the outside. Peak's holding that line very well. They got a Mustang just closing in on them. Schwenke just gave up that spot. Didn't want to cause any trouble right there. Schwenke drops down to third. Allen up into second. Peak still leading our SC Open.
Wow, that is this is some great racing. And now look at John Allen now. Look, his tires are up to temperature and he is all over the back of Mitchell Peak. That is quite extraordinary. Now we have our first question here while we're watching this brilliant little battle. We have our first question. What is the length of the lap here at Mosport? Well, it is 2.5 miles of beautiful Ontarian tarmac as John Allen hangs it around the outside of Mitchell Peak, and there's a Mustang there thinking, God, this is not what I need either. That through goes the Mustang, and John Allen takes the spot. He's on a charge.
Yeah, Allen gets up into second overall now as Travis Schwenke says, all right, I've had enough of you, Peak. I need to get up to that green and black car and get my race on. Yeah, I need you out of my way. That Mustang is, well, he's probably looking in his mirror just like, all right, go back to fighting each other. I want to show.
Okay, so Travis Schwenke now, he's going to try and fight to try and stay with John Allen. Wow, this is going to be really, really important now. If Schwenke allows Allen to get away here, then that will not be what he needs. So he's got to try and get past Mitchell Peak though, and he has not been easy to pass. And Peak gets very, very loose there, and that just blocks Schwenke slightly, and that is allowing John Allen to just inch away ever so slightly. Here goes Schwenke. Is he going to go up the inside here? Looks like he will into turn one. Oh, it's very, very close indeed. Peak really firm, holds his line confidently, going down into turn two. Peak still has the inside line.
Yeah, they're four wide right here. Peak, Schwenke, and Beasley in that battle. Well, it's really the Schwenke and Beasley now. Beasley sneaking up. Once again, Mitchell Peak is not really in this battle since he is in a different class. But being the racer he is, he still has the pace to be up there with the big boys.
So if you're wondering, if you're watching this Ricmotech broadcast for the first time, you're thinking, why on earth is a massive Ford Mustang going past all these little MX-5 Miata? Well, we have a multi-class race. So you effectively have two races going on at once. So our GS class, which is the Ford Mustang, you will see them on the left-hand side of your screen, the timing screen. All the drivers who have a black number to the left of their name, they are in the GS class. In the Mazda MX-5s, or Miatas if you prefer, there is two classes for those. There is the ST Pro and the ST Open. The cars are the same, it's just the ST Pro has the slightly quicker drivers in there. So the ST Pro guys, they have the green number beside their name on the timing screen and the red number for the ST Open guys. And Mitchell Peak right now, he is in third overall amongst the Miatas, so doing a great job and miles ahead of everyone else in his class.
And if you're also looking at time tower, you'll notice a purple number. That is the current car that we are watching. And that just helps y'all navigate to see quickly on where they fit in the overall scheme of things back into Travis Schwenke and Beasley in our battle for third in ST Pro and in the battle for third overall in the entire ST class.
Now, we can actually even elaborate on that question from Justina Stalkings. She asked how long was the circuit here at Mosport. It's 2.5 miles. The lap record was set by the Italian Dindo Capello in 2008 at the wheel of an Audi R10 TDI diesel on an average speed of 222 kilometers an hour, which is mighty fast.
Yeah, it's insanely fast. All lap records at tracks are insanely fast, but let's pull open our class times and let's compare times. GS Pro 129, almost flat. ST Pro 133.2. ST Open very close to the ST Pro guys, just 0.2 off, with their fastest lap being so similar. No wonder that Mitchell Peak is staying up there, and Peak is still battling for the same points. The ST Pros and ST Open guys, they're all battling for the same point system. Nobody gets any preferential treatment being in a different class, and the points don't reset. It's ST Open. They have all overall ST Open points. They battle for the same points available to them. It's just they get put into a different bracket compared to the championship. And Schwenke dives in there very late. All breaks, almost gets into the back of Peak.
Wow, that was very, very close indeed. Formation flying here, and look at that. John Allen in that green and black Miata. He is just in the 101 machine. He is just edging away, and this is not what Schwenke needs. He needs to be up there with Allen, battling with him, but he might have just done enough to escape there. But Travis Schwenke doing his best to get past Mitchell Peak, but by a long way. For me, Mitchell Peak, driver of the day so far for me.
Definitely they are a big driver of the day. Mitchell Peak pulling out a massive performance here, and well, I want to see him on the overall podium, which he will be parked at the end of the track if he does take the win, but a overall podium from a ST Open driver is very impressive.
Indeed, absolutely. So, well, just an update on our GS runners. Aeronom is absolutely laying down the law right now. 24 seconds ahead of Tyler Shiflett. Tyler Shiflett currently sitting fourth in the championship on 161 points. So he'll score a good bunch of points. And
he's going to jump up to third.
He might even jump to second, actually, because Cameron Martineau is only on 166, just 5 points ahead, and Martineau is currently in fifth, so he should actually jump right up to second. But quite ominously, Aeronom, he is a little bit further ahead. He's on 181, and he's looking set to win this race. So Aeronom could be on for his 8th GS class win here in the Ricmotech Classic Sprint Series.
Yeah, as we look at Jeff Jacobs and Tony Kernan, they're going nose to tail for each other, heading through the final corner. Tony getting a little bit loose in the battle for third, the last podium spot available for these Mustangs.
Yeah, this is really, really close between Kernan and Jacobs. You can see Jacobs with the big teeth there at the front of that bumper, the Florida Gator. Jeff Jacobs, you can see him there. And the onboard camera with the I have to say, I am impressed and jealous in equal measure. He's in the draft. Here goes the Gator. He's slinking up behind Tony Kernan.
They got some traffic up ahead. I think we might see Jeff Jacobs do a little bit of a pick and roll with one of these lap cars. They head into Mosk.
So around they come then. And oh, he has a little bit of a look, nearly makes contact.
Tony! What a save by Tony. And now they're going to go side by side down the Mario and Andretti straight. We got a drag race going on. We got Mustang skidding out of the way, 4 wide down the Mario and Andretti straight. Jeff Jacobs around to the outside. Kernan down to the inside, then push that Miata almost all the way into the grass. Kernan going all the way down to the inside. Jeff Jacobs holding that outside line. Still side by side they go. Kernan's got the relative lead ahead of Jeff Jacobs. Jeff Jacobs got to avoid that Mustang in front of him. And if you look at the face of excitement and shock by Jeff Jacobs, his mouth is agape, and he's having a blast right now. Look at that smile.
Yeah, he's, and I tell you what, he could be a Mackay because he has got the concentrating tongue face. The tongue, just, I think he can maybe hear us, Austin.
He's having a great time.
Yeah, he's having an awesome time. He's having the tongue is at a 45-degree angle as he concentrates really hard. I feel like we're maybe putting him off now. We should stop talking about him.
Nah, I don't think he's listening to us. He's just having a blast.
I have to say, I have one of those H-pattern shifters. That looks so much fun.
I would not be able to do that H-pattern shifter well. Probably just because I can't really control my hand.
Yep, I have to say I would love an H-pattern shifter. I have to say I love the manual gearbox as well.
Oh, Jeff just gave us a wave, and
he gave us a wave.
Kernan is off in the gravel, and here comes Jeff Jacobs.
Here comes the tongue. Here comes the tongue. Oh, he's holding it in.
Out.
Oh, he's gone for it.
Oh, he's gone for it. Oh my goodness, Jeff, what are you doing?
Well, now the commentating on Jeff Jacobs is even more exciting than this race already is. Fantastic stuff. So we're riding on board with the Gator, Jeff Jacobs. He's right in the draft now of Tony Kernan. Is he going to have a look here, coming into the S's? Is he going to bite? Oh, Tony Kernan in the black bomber. He's got the apex covered, but oh, here comes Jacob. You've got to be
hitting
bold
these
there.
curbs just a little bit consistently, getting very loose, and once again it gets loose again. Jacobs is closing in more and more with each lap. And with less than 15 minutes to go, Tony Kernan, Jeff Jacobs, battling out for the final podium spot in our Mustang category. Can the Gator dethrone the Black Bomber, or will the Black Bomber stay in that position? And also, there has been a third contender entering this fight. Cameron Martineau is slowly closing in on these two.
Good point, well spotted. So it will become a three-way battle for the final spot on the podium. 3 does not go into 1. So who is going to get that spot? It's Travis Schwenke still struggling to get past Mitchell Peak. Mitchell Peak putting on the drive of the season here. Really, really impressive stuff. And John Allen, as you can see, he's clearing off in front in that green and black, almost Patron-coloured paint scheme. And here goes the Gator side by side. He's going to have to make it look around the outside. And look who's there. Cameron Martineau. We have a three-way battle here for the final spot on the podium. Is Jeff Jacobs going to try and make this look?
He's not giving it up. Kernan, though, wiggles that rear end around, and he gets around Jeff Jacobs, and now here comes Cameron.
Oh, this is fantastic. These cars, they've got such personality, don't they? They really pitch and wobble around, but these guys are hauling them away right now. Big Detroit muscle here. Martineau, Jacobs, and Kernan. Fantastic stuff. Just over 10 minutes to go, and this is impossible to call a winner in this little mini battle.
Yeah, we got Cameron Martineau. He's been struggling with his car all day. Tony Kernan been struggling with consistency, and Jeff Jacobs, wrong place, wrong time, but he's in the right place, right time. He's gone for the switchback down low, coming out of turn 3, heading into turn 4, side by side, and heading into the boss corner. We might go 3 wide into this braking zone. Who's going to go for the move? Jeff Jacobs sending it down to the inside. They've kept the space there. Jeff Jacobs holding that inside curtain, jumps over there. But Kernan around the outside, 3 wide. Here comes Martineau swinging around to the outside even more now around Jeff Jacobs. He tried to go for it, but that inside line is so treacherous, especially battling with somebody who has better exit pace. And what a battle we got going on. Kernan, Martineau, Jacobs, the battle for third in our Mustangs.
Wow, this is something else here. Martineau goes by, Jacobs now at the back of the pack, and Tony Kanaan making that black bomber so wide there. Fantastic stuff. And do you know what, Austin? The respect between these drivers coming through Moss there. Normally, that type of close racing ends up in tears every time at Moss Corner. But these guys giving each other the racing room, and they're having the time of their lives. And I've noticed that ever since you mentioned it, Jeff Jacobs' tongue has not come out of his mouth. So he's really either that or he's concentrating even harder.
After that, you made him self-conscious about his face.
Oh, I feel bad now.
Because he did give us a wave. He might actually be listening to us. Cameron Martineau going for the same move that Jeff Jacobs did. Looking down to the inside, and here comes Cameron. Side by side they go, heading into Mosport, but Cameron gets onto the brakes and decided that that's not the best idea. He needs to set up for that Mario and Journey straight to get that top speed on Tony Kanaan, and he's all up in that bumper. Who's going to get the best exit? Tony giving it a little bit physical off the exit.
Oh, big block there from Tony Kanaan. And they've got a, oh, now this is interesting. They've got a Miata here. They can try and for the pick and roll. Nope, they all get through clean. And they, oh, is that a Texan flag on the back of that Miata there? I think it was.
I believe it was.
Yeah, very cool. So Tony Kanaan,
weird.
side by side. Is Martineau going to hang it around? He's not been so confident as he normally
Kanaan's
is
got
here,
it.
and
Kanaan
gets that wiggle. Look at that, Austin. He just can't quite get the car to turn the way he wants. Can Cameron Martineau? This is so close.
Great battle. Jeff Jacobs almost gets in the back of Cameron, but Cameron's got a good run off the exit. Tony was just a little bit held up right there on mid-corner, and now all three of these guys all nose to tail, getting into the grass just a little bit, and just about 7 minutes remain here at Mosport.
Oh, this means it. This means something. This is for the final spot on the podium, don't forget. And Tony Kanaan is defending it with his life. This is really, really impressive defensive driving from Tony Kanaan in the black bomber. But Cameron Martineau desperately trying to get by, as we see Nicolas Arsenault trying to get past, the big slide there past the number 98 of Key. And that blue and orange machine. Very, very tight battle there in ST Open. But we'll come back to the Mustang battle in just a moment. Here we go then. Tony Kanaan. Now, is he going to get it? Cameron Martineau is just not quite so confident as he normally is on the switchback there. Just not quite getting the Mustang to turn. They're side by side. Jacobs right there in the draft. Can Martineau hang it around the outside? That is the line.
He's gone a bit wide.
Back.
Ooh, Kernan's riding on that curve. This might be Martineau's chance. He's going to push him a bit wide, but Cameron just does not have that apex speed. And here comes Jeff Jacobs. 3 wide down the front straight.
Wow, this is... Jacobs is going to try and get it. Martineau hangs it around the outside. That's really risky. Is he going to get it, though? Is he going to be rewarded for that risk? It looks like he might. He's got the inside going into turn 2. Brilliant.
This might end bad.
Car now.
Oh, Martineau sneaks it down to the inside. Cameron Martineau up into third, but now he has to deal with a attacking Tony Kanaan right behind him.
Yep, now Kanaan.
And Kanaan, big wiggle off the exit.
Yep, Tony Kanaan now he's got to try and do the Troy Bayliss. He's got to try and snap straight back. Really important. Not let Cameron Martineau get into his rhythm. And already Cameron desperately trying to break away.
Oh, goes Tony!
Off. Oh, that's a pity. Oh, they were pushing so hard, and only a really small mistake there, and that allows Jacobs free. Now, will we see a Jacobs versus Martineau battle, a two-way battle now?
We might see that. Jeff Jacobs has to catch up to Cameron Martineau, who does have a bit of a gap to Cameron in front of him. He needs to close that in there. Now, he does have that draft as we're looking at Mitchell Peak. He's dropped down to 4th overall. He's got some massive damage. We missed a big incident right there with that 56 car.
Oh no, hopefully not. Hopefully there hasn't been well, as you say, he's still in fourth. Well, he's dropped to fourth from third overall. Still winning the class quite comfortably from Brennan Horan. But, what has happened to Mitchell Peak there? He's got some damage in the front right part of that Miata. So there's been contact somewhere. What a pity, but he's still having a go at Travis Schwenke. Travis Schwenke goes to block and puts him on the grass almost. Oh, Mitchell Peak is not giving this up, and that car, well, it's got the muck, it's got the grime of nearly 75 minutes of racing, still going at it, and Travis Schwenke might have third place for now, but Mitchell Peak's not going to let him have it to the line with, he's not going to let him go lying down.
Oh no, Mitchell Peak is going to take it up the mountain and try to jump off the mountain and take him to the peak of performance. And, well, really just try to go for any position that he can, because he's a racer at heart and he ain't going to give up without a fight. And even with that small amount of damage on his car, he is still not going to give up.
These are tough little Miatas. They build them strong in Japan, as we see Chris Thorman in the number 60 up the inside of the 45 of Haran. Sorry, the 47, my apologies. Through he goes. Good move there.
Great move. Now these two are in different classes, so they aren't directly racing each other, but they are racing for each other's points.
Indeed, and that's good news for Mitchell Peak to see one of his championship rivals pushed back a little bit. Brennan Horan is 5 points ahead of him in the championship, so that's good news for Mitchell Peak right now. The battle between Martineau and Jacobs is so tightly matched on pace, and there's battles going on up and down the circuit, Austin. That's what I love about commentating on these Ricmotech, this paddock series, is that the field has got so much quality in it that there's just always close racing going on.
Here's what happened to Mitchell's Peak car and how I got that damage. This went straight off through Moss and then came back onto the track, back again to the curb, and bang, smack into the 154 of Jacob Beasley. And that's how he's got that damage on his car.
Just a little bit of misfortune there, one of those racing incidents, but been able to carry on, and he's still giving Travis Schwenke all kinds of nightmares right now. And well, I feel like we should give, with a couple of minutes to go, we should give a big shout out to our current runaway leader in the ST class, and that's Elvis Rankin. He has run a perfect race. He had a disaster last time out, crashing his Ferrari GT3 machine here at Mosport on turn 1, and that memory is bound to have haunted him. And well, he's put that one to bed, and he has dominated this race at the front. Speaking of domination, well, Aeronom has also been in fine form and also put a few demons to bed today as well. So I feel like we've almost seen a return of the order here. Normal service has been resumed in a way, Austin.
Yeah, normal service are made to be resumed, but you know, sometimes normal services have random spots of outages or anything. I'm not trying to be that bearer of bad news, but there is still about 2 minutes left. Anything can happen in those two minutes. Equipment failure, just a lost concentration, freak incidents with tires. You still got to be on your toes, even though we have 1 minute left here in Mosport. Elvis Rankin leading out the field. Aeronom winning his division, as well as Mitchell Peak leading the ST Opens.
Yep, so we're just seeing where our, trying to spot our leader at the moment to see if he's taken the white flag yet. Where is Aeronom on
He just
track?
passed halfway. He's entering the Andretti Straight. So with 20 seconds left, we might have a sprint to the checkered flag, but I think the white flag is in the air for Cameron Nope. Aeronom. I'm saying Cameron's name way too much today. That is just implanted in my mind.
So Aeronom now will be coming through the S's, I think, if I'm not mistaken. There he is. Yes, so the time is elapsed, so he will get the checker now. We are on the last lap. Aeronom then Well, he has been in imperious form, has the Estonian. Not a mark on that Ford Mustang. He's driven the perfect race today. He's got the Estonian flag on his helmet there. Little dab of the brake, a little bit of left foot braking there, going through the S's. Round he comes then to take the checkered flag. Aeronom, your championship leader, wins in the GS class. A brilliant drive, 35 seconds ahead of his nearest competitor. And slipping and sliding through turn 2 here is Elvis Rankin. He's enjoying a 24-second lead, and he's just got to brush it home now. Yeah, he's got it.
He's got it because everyone behind him was already lapped and behind Aeronom, and they've already finished. Allen came in second, Schwenke in third. Mitchell Peak, 4th overall, takes the win in the ST Open. What a performance by the 56.
Yeah, driver of the day for me to be up there fighting toe-to-toe with the top guys. Really impressive. And Cameron Martineau, a great recovery from an earlier mistake, gets through to 3rd place and wins that, well, that battle between Jacobs, Kernan and Martineau. Amazing.
And with that, he stays 2nd in the championship.
Great point. Yep, very good point indeed. And that was a clutch performance there from Cameron Martineau. But here comes Elvis Rankin. He's had, well, he deserves that victory lap. Round he comes then. The number 1, the wonder kid, Elvis Rankin, comes around whites for the final time, slipping and sliding around. He is your winner, and look at that. He is cool as a cucumber.
There it is.
Oh, the little 1. Single pistol. I like it.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow, yeah. Fantastic stuff. So we're going to take an ever so quick break here on the iRacing Esports Network. We will be right back with official results and some post-race interviews. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, where we have just been treated to an absolutely thrilling motor race, something we've come to expect here in the Ricmotech paddock. Aeronom is your winner then, the number 78 machine, by 35 seconds. He was 7/10 of a second quicker than anyone in qualifying, and he delivered on that promise in the race. Tyler Shiflett was second, just 5 seconds ahead of Cameron Martineau, who fought his way back after a couple of mistakes, but managed to get through Jeff Jacobs and Tony Kernan, who were in a monumental battle and incredible entertainment indeed. David Sanders was 6th, with Robert Briston 7th, Clint Vigas 8th, Steve Daniel 9th, and unfortunately Kevin Ford was a non-starter, sadly. Let's see how they lined up then, or how they finished in the SD Pro. Elvis Rankin, wow, on his own lap entirely. John Allen was 2nd, Travis Schwenke 3rd, Jacob Beasley 4th, David Payton 5th, Chris Thorman 6th, Jordy Fike 7th, and Mike Dam was 8th, incurring big damage after that incident with Clint Vigas. In SD Open, our driver of the day, Mitchell Peak, coming in as the class winner, 27 seconds ahead of Brennan Horan, and for Mitchell Peak, 4th overall in ST. Very impressive indeed. Greg Mack, the championship leader, finished 3rd, a solid performance from him. Edgar Sancinelli was 4th, followed by Mike Taylor, Jeffrey Cranston, Greg Brockway, Michael Key, Nicola Parseneau, Eric Clister, Patrick Prevenis, and Derek Holland, rounding out the 12-strong ST Open class. Now, I see we have both of our class winners, so let's get our outright race winner, Aeronom, in for a chat. Aeronom, welcome to the Apex Racing booth. Congratulations on a great drive. That looked pretty straightforward, but tell us how it was from your seat.
Yeah, it was. The first laps was very difficult, using very loose and exit losing. Had to make sure first 3 laps I warm up the tires.
I see, and interesting when you mentioned the tyres, Aero, at the pit stop, we didn't quite catch it on the broadcast. Did you decide to take tyres on the pit stop?
Yeah, I took 4 tires.
I see, okay, so, and of course here at Mosport, really, really hard on the tyres. Now, Aero, you're looking good for what will be potentially an 8th championship here in the Ricmotech paddock in the Classic Sprint Series. How does that feel to have that as a possibility to grab another championship?
Oh, yeah, it was closer this season, I think, last seasons, but yeah.
Now, Aero, as our race winner, before we let you go, who would you like to thank here live on the iRacing Esports Network?
I'd like to thank all the admins, always the drivers. Again today, it was perfect in the traffic, so you guys in the booth.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words. Aero, go and enjoy that win, and we'll see you next time out here in the Ricmotech paddock.
Thank you.
So that was our GS class winner, Aeronom, and I believe our ST winner, Elvis Rankin, is with Austin Knight.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you, Elvis, but I'm afraid you're going to have me instead of Austin. How was that out today at Mosport?
It was really good. I was just looking for a clean, consistent race tonight. I've been having a pretty rough week this week on the sim. I just wanted to hit the reset button tonight and go and do what I know how to do best, and I think I delivered tonight.
You certainly did, young man. And now you must forgive me for bringing this up. Last week, the race lasted one corner with the Ferrari. You made a very rare mistake. Was that playing on your mind at all coming into the race today?
I was thinking about lap 1, lap 2. You know, just cold tires. The car's really understeery, and I really wanted to learn my lesson this week and last week that I need to just remember that the cold tires are still going to be a thing and just take my time, and I have the pace that I need, but I just need to survive the first 2-3 laps before I can win the race. As somebody said from a famous driver, I'm assuming you have to win the race, you must finish first. So that was the goal tonight.
Oh, you certainly did. You certainly did that for sure. And we know that obviously you do quite a bit of racing in the real world. How's that all been going in the last little while?
Oh, it's been going good. Doing some tests and just getting ready for next season. See, hopefully everything, all the current world situations are going to lift pretty soon and can get back to how it used to be.
Now, forgive me, my memory is terrible. You were going to be having a run at Sebring. Have you had that one yet?
I have.
How was it?
It was really good. So much fun. So much fun to drive the car.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Well, Elvis, I know you have a lot of people you want to thank here on the iRacing Esports Network. Now's your chance.
Yeah, for sure. I want to thank Orion Race Team for taking the gamble on me, and I appreciate them so much for everything that they've been doing for me in the past so that I've been on their team and hooking me up with some of my best friends on the team. I can't thank them enough. My teammates tonight. We had a bit of an incident with some lap traffic, but one of our guys, Travis Schwenke, did an amazing rebound drive tonight. I was super happy to see him get back up the field, snag some points tonight. So that was really good for him. And thank you to our two guys, Travis Schwenke and Mike Dam, tonight for doing an amazing job crafting the setup. It was on rails tonight for sure. I want to thank our sponsors for Orion Race Team. I want to thank HPP Pedals, Mark. Thank you so much. Joel Real Timing and Joel, thank you guys so much. My team owner, Frosty St. Clair, does an amazing job managing our team. Just keeps us all of our ducks in a row. I want to thank my mom, my dad, my grandma, and my grandpa for just helping me with anything that needs to be done in sim racing or in real racing or anything really. And I want to thank you guys at Apex Racing TV for broadcasting the race tonight, and Extreme Motorsports 99, all the admins, Kevin Ford, Jeff Jacobs, Bobby Childs, and Russ Ruddock. But yeah, just super happy tonight, and can't thank all the sponsors because I'd be here for a very long time, but you know who you guys are, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you for giving them all such a kind shout out, Elvis. Brilliant job again tonight, and we'll see you next time out.
Yeah, thank you guys.
So that was Elvis Rankin coming to join us in the commentary booth in sound and vision as well for the first time. Now, joining me in the commentary box now is our driver of the day, Mitchell Peak. Mitchell, that was a giant killing performance. How was that for you?
That was a battle all the way through, that's for sure. Those guys are really quick, but tonight I just had a setup that I really believed in. Car felt great all night, and I just tried to keep my head down, not get in too much trouble, pick my spots to be aggressive, but for the most part, I was just trying to run a pretty conservative race and just survive to the end and really get a good battle on with the guys. And yeah, I think we had a great battle there for second through fifth. We were fighting all race long.
You certainly were. It was really, really exciting to watch. And of course, finishing so high in the overall standings and by far the top driver in your class, you get a big, big chunk of points and brings you very close, if not to the top of the ST Open class. How does that feel? And what's the plan for the next couple of rounds to go for that championship?
Well, I still have my work cut out to me for the championship. I think I was 12 points behind Greg Mack coming into this race for the Open Championship. So, definitely pretty happy to take an overall P4, I think it was, and pick up those points. But I kind of used up my drop races early in the season. I missed a race because I was out at the cottage, and I had just a really unfortunate incident at Watkins Glen where I didn't score any points. I wrecked way too early there. So, these next races coming up are really important. I can't make any mistakes if I want to grab that championship, but that's where my head's at. I think I can get there. I just need a couple more races like tonight.
Yeah, leave that setup in the car, whatever it is. It's as they call it, the gunpowder setting. That's
yeah, whatever worked there. I don't know. I was playing around last night in the open practice session, and I just happened to make a couple changes that really, really suited my driving style. So I think that's one I'm just going to save as my new baseline or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And of course, next time out we go to Phillip Island down in Australia, and it's quite a similar track to Mosport actually. Lots of big, high-speed corners. So I guess the setup will probably transfer over quite well.
I'm hoping so. We'll see what happens. I like Phillip Island as a track. I think it's a lot of fun to drive. Mosport's one of my favorites in general that we were running tonight. This is my home track, actually. I live about an hour away from Mosport. So it's nice to get the win on home soil. But off to the other side of the world for next race. And, it's going to be a whole brand new race. So can't take anything for granted. Going to have to do some good prep work and get down to business for that one.
Well, Mitchell, we really look forward to watching that. Congratulations on what was a brilliant drive today, mixing it with the very best guys in the championship. Well done, and hopefully we'll chat again next week.
Awesome. Thanks very much. I hope to catch you guys again soon.
So that was Mitchell Peak, our ST Open class winner, coming in to have a chat with us, and a local winner to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, or Mosport, to give it its original name. That is about all we have time for here on Apex Racing TV. and the iRacing Esports Network. But you can find out more about the Ricmotech paddock, our 3 different series, www.extrememotorsports99.com. They're on your screen. And as you can see coming up on your screen right now, our next rounds. Next up, we're back to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for our sports car series with our GT4 and TCR machines. And then after that, we go to Lime Rock Park, one of my absolute favourites for the GT Challenge series. So do not miss that. We will be back next Monday. Ricmotech night is Monday night. Tune in here, same time again on the iRacing Esports Network. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.